Hi everyone, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, the DLC for said game. It's entitled Revelations, and this video is named, what's it called? Jailers and Minions, I'm sorry. When you see the green grip points, those are for the bat projectile, when you project yourself as a bat. So how I do that is you hold down R2 and then you hold down L2 to see those grip points. And I could have put this video into 2 segments, but I wanted to just put everything into one because the boss fight is pretty easy and it was just too brief to have it as a standalone video. Now this part over here, you want to change into this to your wolf, and just bear in mind that Alucard's vulnerable wherever he's standing, so right as you pass through the blades, let go, so that you turn into Alucard again. So it could take a little bit of trial and error, but once you've done it a number of times, it becomes very simple. So did you notice I got the ensnared demon right there? I'm going to show you how to use the transmutation rune, to turn it into whatever you want. So I press absorb to put it into my rune, and then I press transmutate over whatever relic I want to turn it into by pressing the square button, and then that changed the ensnared demon into the seal of Astor, or not the seal of Astor, the Tears of the Saint. So since I have all my upgrades, I no longer need the dodo eggs to tell me where secrets are, and I never will need the seal of Astor because I never use that. I think it's pointless. And as for the other relics, I will heal from time to time, but I'll try not to. On this, you want to put the shield on either side of the track, and then use your time slowing ability to break the door on either side. And this is going to be a very direct guide. I'm not going out of my way to show where any secrets are because I've already gotten all the secrets. So take the shield over here, and this could be very complicated. I actually had to look around on the internet to figure out how to do some of these puzzles. Like this right here, I figured it out, but there's one part where I got really frustrated, and my tolerance and patience levels is really low about solving puzzles, and I don't really like nonlinear games to begin with. So to save my sanity, I look around, and I don't feel bad about that whatsoever because I like to battle. I mean, I don't need help doing the battles. That's something I like to find out myself. But anyway, this is a timed door right here, and some of these doors are very, comes down to the last second. Like this one, you can't even mess around at all. What I'm doing here, though, is I'm resurrecting the blade, as it were, and you can actually get a trophy for killing one enemy with a blade, but I've already got it. It's called the Butcher Trophy. And it's just for fun. See, you can get hit too, so kind of watch out. But it is kind of fun to play around with the blade and have them chase you and get killed. So, what we're going to be looking for are the jailers, because there are 3 of them, and they each hold a key that we need to advance into the next section of the game. So once that battle is over, go back to the switch over here, activate it, and then do not do anything but just sprint, or slide rather, because that's what the roll is now. It's the slide in this game. So slide, and do not don't turn into the wolf, because he can't cover enough ground as this slide does with Alucard. I do like the nice touch of the music from the music box level on this section here. This is very easy. This is actually a loading room if you think about it, because if you just want to kill yourself and you don't care, you don't want to do this, you don't even care about it, just allow yourself to get killed. I don't think you take any damage. It's just a loading room. It's really, when you think about it. But you do get a prize every time, so I guess that's the incentive. So up here there's a cutscene which I edited out, and then turn into the wolf. And feel free, you can go either way here. I'm just going to go left because I'm one of those people that's left to right kind of mentality, a thought process. So that's going to open this, but it's not on a timer, so don't worry about it. Use the bat, the bat projectile. It's not a projectile. You'll have to excuse me. Just turn into the wolf here, go through here, and then see. You don't get a checkpoint, so it's not too bad because it's just one jailer in here, and there's no lackeys. I don't believe. You might get some lackeys spawning if the game knows that you don't have any chaos magic to break his armor. And you're also going to be seeing me do quite a lot of attacks, maybe spamming attacks occasionally, especially when I know that I almost have 100% mastery, so that I could transfer the mastery points into my skill level for my weapon. But these guys are pretty... I mean, they've got a really wide area of effect for their attack, so be extremely careful about those guys. I mean, just don't... Just go out of your way, you know, even a little bit more, and don't forget to get this key. You know what happened to me once? I forgot to pick up one of these keys, and I realized that I just simply forgot to pick it up, and then I went back to where I knew it had to be, and it had disappeared, so I had to restart the entire mission over again. I had inadvertently broken the game. So, turn this, it's going to lower the elevator. I think regardless of which staircase you go up, it's going to go up first and then down. So, there it is, up. We can't reach that position yet. And there's a ton of hidden items over here too, you guys. I believe there's 8 hidden items in this area in the Overlook Tower. And then there's 10 items in Bernard's Wing, and then there's none in the rest of the game. So I think there's 18 total items. So... resurrect this wood plank here and then turn into the wolf. Whenever you have to jump a long distance, use the wolf because he can cover a lot more ground in the air. So, I'm a little disappointed though about having no double jump for Alucard. I thought they would give you one. But these encounters are pretty tough, and I'm going to tell you why. Because not only is there furniture in the way of a lot of these fights, but these lackeys are pretty tough. They're upgraded goblins from the first game. I believe they were goblins. Now they're kind of demon goblins with body armor. So gone are the days when you could just grab the goblins. And I kind of miss that. I miss being able to pull enemies to me. You know, pull the lesser enemies to me with the combat cross. But anyway, so here I'm just. This is actually a very good tactic if you want to do the rising cut. And the area, I think it's called the rising cut. What am I doing there? The rising stab and the rising cut. It's square X and triangle X. I prefer the triangle X move myself. And when his mallet is inflamed, you cannot parry it, so do watch out for that. And sometimes you might think that, oh, that didn't hit me, and it's probably just because he has way too much range at his disposal. So just stand clear and just wait for him to need a rest. I personally think there should be some kind of secret relic or ability that lets you block and well, not maybe definitely not block unparryable attacks, but parry unblockable attacks, like the way it is in Dante's Inferno, when you get... I don't remember how you get that ability, to be honest. It's been a long time since I did the guide for that game, but I really appreciated that, being able to parry unblockable attacks. And I think one of the worst offenses in this game is there's not a reset camera feature. It really just drives me crazy. And I say that on every game that doesn't have one, but there's a reason for that. It's so demonstrable of a loss. Okay, so now what you need to do is go over to here, turn this key, and we are going to have to turn it once and then turn into the wolf, but not quite yet. Just turn it and lower it all the way to the ground. And then what we're going to do now is jump out of this window here and then put the shield in the elevator. Make sure you do it in this order either, or you'll have to start this over and go do the elevators again. Put them up and down. But it says no wolves allowed, and that was kind of confusing me as to why it was saying that. I thought it maybe meant that you couldn't be in the wolf form there. I don't know. But now what you want to do is go over to this lever, pull it, but don't press the circle button to release it. Rather, press right on the D-pad. There we go. Press right on the D-pad and then hold down the R2 button. Just jump down right over here and go into the elevator. And then when you release the R2 button, it's going to have Alucard disappear right here. And then the logic behind that is that he just releases the lever because he's no longer there to hold it in place. So once the elevator doors open, grab the shield and bring it right over here. Place it on either one of these, and then go on to the other one, and then use the wolf to go through, because now there's two. We have both weights, and then we'll go in here, fight a battle, and get our third key. So this is the second time we're fighting a jailer plus his lackeys. In the first encounter, we just fought a jailer. And in the next encounter, once we have access to all three keys, we'll be doing a lackey fight and then a boss battle. Okay, so right there I used my Ensnared Demon to give myself some magic. Once the lackeys are gone, it's pretty easy. And what I think happens is the game spawns them if it thinks you need for lack of a better word, their essence when they die. I don't know what it's called because I don't know. I have Ninja Gaiden on my mind at the current time, but as you can see, he's very slow to attack, so his parry is easy to time. But just be aware, it's all well and good if you need to siphon the enemy's health into your health via the Glacier Blade. Well, I guess that's not true right there, what I was saying, because I did have all of my Chaos Magic right there, and he spawned Lackey, so that doesn't count. But I do still believe that the game will spawn some Lackeys if it thinks you need their orbs to siphon into your magic gauge. So what I would do is I would pick off the lackeys. I would do the rising stab and the rising cut away from them, away from the jailer, and then just take care of business here. Okay, so there is his unblockable charge attack that he does. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought a moment ago. What I was saying was that it is all well and good to siphon the enemy's health into your health via that, your light magic, as it is in this game. But just just at least acknowledge or remember the fact that it takes away the least amount of damage off enemies when you're using the Ice Blade, because it's just the weakest attack you have, because it's counterbalancing the fact that you're getting health, so it's not dealing as much damage even on level 3. So if you don't need health, don't use the Ice Blade, because it's not going to give you extra damage off enemies. The only thing that does that is the Chaos Magic. Okay, so with that cleared, we're going to jump on down here, and with all 3 keys in our possession, you can put the keys in there in whatever order you want to. Oh, I'm sorry, I was going to edit this out. I apologize about that. And then what we're going to have is that the lackey fight that I mentioned. Although I guess they're not really lackeys, because they're not helping the boss. But it's just it's a pretty annoying fight. And this is a pretty hard campaign because you don't have any range with your weapons. I mean, you don't even have a projectile attack, really. I mean, do you? No. There's no project. I mean, you can't throw anything. Gabriel not only had the Bat Swarm, he had the Combat Cross, which is, well, the Blood Whip. It's very powerful. Watch out for their gas grenades. Those are their poison grenades. They can really chip off your HP. But over here, what I was doing was I was spamming the rising. I don't know what it's called, but it's the Triangle X move. Because it's a lot better to launch multiple enemies up in the air. And then I'm marrying that technique with the aerial cut so I can... This is all just to build up my mastery points, but in the course of doing this I learned that it's a good technique. And also what I was doing there a moment ago was square hold, square, square, square. You can also do a pseudo guillotine attack by jumping in the air and holding down on the square button. In fact, that is what works to kill the blood pools that the skeletons turn into. Although you don't have to see that attack right there that I did. That is what you're really supposed to do in like Lords of Shadow 1 to get rid of the skeletons, or just toss holy water, even better. When they are in that blood pool, you can just go in the blood pool and just strike with the sword, with the square button, or the triangle button, whatever. Especially with the chaos magic on. So here is the jailer boss. You notice that he spat ice right there, and the only way to hit him is with the chaos blades. But now we don't need to use the chaos blades because his ice armor is off. So he's just as easy to parry as the other jailer. In fact, he's the same exact guy, except he's got that attack, that whirlwind attack, that will kind of push you away from him. And when he does that, you're going to have to evade. When he does that, obviously you jump over the area of effect attack. The final boss in this game is not too hard either. In fact, I rather liked the final boss and enjoyed him, because it was pretty challenging and I thought it was a good fight. Okay, so sometimes you just can't help getting out of the way of things in this game. It's pretty bad, but what I do like, especially on the final boss, when you're on the ground, if you jump, if you do the quick rise when you're on the ground, you can dodge an attack and then attack after that. So just remember to conserve your magic for when you don't have any left to hit him when he is all ice. But if that's the case, you just need to parry. And I believe they will summon lackeys for you to kill, or use your ensnare demons. Just never use any of your resources unless you really need them. That's the bottom line. I mean, that's how it is in most games that are really challenging, and this game is one of those.